We're going to talk about magic and
Ooh.
being the true wizard. And for that, I have with me tonight real life wizards. I'll start with seniority in terms of how long we've known each other. We have with us James Hyman. I was just doing another interview, and one guy was asking me, how did I all get started with this business of pickup and so on? And I was explaining that I first came to America and got married super fast so I could stay in America. And it was a disaster, and she passed away. And that was very hard to deal with that at such a young age. So what happened is I was doing better in every area of my life, but there was a block that was a little bit deeper, even deeper, I should say, than anxiety. It was near a phobia, since we process life based on pain and pleasure. That painful experience was really holding me back. And I was trying different resources, and I came across a little ad of the shaman. And he radiated so much positive energy on the picture that I thought I gotta try that. Contacted him. I went. We did a session of an hour and a half. His private sessions are very extended, and I experienced pure magic during that session. I had ideomotor, meaning it's when one arm starts to raise by itself, and you're looking at your arm, wondering why it's raising by itself like that. Anyway, to keep it brief, James Hyman, the creator of Deep Emotional Release, and someone that's, after I introduced him in the community about, 5 to 10 years ago, everybody is raving about the results they're getting. So James does a lot of breath work, and we're going to do a live breath workshop with you guys later on. And then more recently, wizard like no other, and there's only one way to describe him, a source of inspiration in my life that was so needed. And right now we're putting together the Global Seduction, Lifestyle, and Relationship Conference coming up in October in Hollywood, and both James and Arash Dibazar will be there. And tonight we're going to take questions first, and maybe I'll give each of our guests just a few minutes, a minute or so, to kind of give a little introduction. So why don't we start with you, James, and then Arash,
Okay.
and then after that we'll take questions and we'll rotate answering, and then let's go and do a breath workshop live, so you guys, unless you're driving a car, will be able to experience some really good energy and vibe. And I'm super eager to hear what both have to say on the topic of magic and being a wizard. So, James.
All right, great. Thank you, Vince. Well, I've been doing this fascination with magic and manifesting and wizardry for really my entire adult life, and it's very interesting because I think sometimes when I was young I thought, wow, this is great. You can just sit around and visualize money and visualize women coming, and it's just all going to manifest. And obviously through life I got a little tempered to that belief, and began to understand, as you were talking about, what I talk about, the inner game, that the real magic, for me, the real power in life was the power of self-transformation, and observing, how all that plays itself out in relationship to the real world, in terms of relationship with people, business, manifesting the things we want in life, and ultimately, manifesting love and relationship with women, more or less, which seems to be a primary thrust behind it all. And when I was traditionally studying, years ago, studying magic and wizardry, we'll leave it at that, being a young man, I was always too like, wow, when I get my magic power, I'll be able to just attract women and just attract everything that I want and need. And I think the main message that I have for people at this point is just, all that is true, but, to find real connection with your true self and to really be in relationship with that and see all of the external endeavors as just a mirror, as just a reflection of your true inner self, that by working on the inner self, working on the inner game, by working on your relationship with your mind, to your emotions, your thoughts, finding out what habitual patterns drive you, what gets in your way in life, what gets in your way of success, what gets in your way of communicating effectively. More than anything, what gets in your way of being really happy right in the present moment? Like say you're out talking to women, you're out practicing. The mind will get in and goes, I'm not good at this, or this is too difficult. And the truth is you're living your dream now. You're living your life now, and the real endeavor is to just be present, be happy, and then see how kind of a magnetic energy that has. That when you're radiating a kind of an interconnectedness, an inner power, an inner connection to your power, and an inner connection to your true essence. And you're fearless about it. You're fearless in the sense that you're willing to make mistakes and get feedback from that. And at the same time, you're willing to also have success in your life, which means sometimes you may have to change concepts of yourself because, you really have carrying around a kind of an imprint or an idea of yourself that you're not successful, it's difficult for you, it's difficult to get the results you want. And so a lot of times, just changing those thoughts about yourself and recognizing that that's not true, that you're living your life in the present moment. Every present moment is an opportunity for you to experience, joy, happiness, connection, satisfaction, fulfillment. And this is more attractive than women than anything else. So, I guess that's my little intro here for this evening. I'll pass it on.
Great, and I look forward to have you share your take on the feminine and dynamic, because I'm so excited that you and Arash finally get to connect, because the thinking is so wild. But so I pass it to, thank you, James, and I pass it to Arash. We just had a killer series of podcasts and so on, and every time, I'm taking notes and so on. So Arash, magic, wizardry.
Okay. I'll make it very brief. You see, let me qualify the statement before I say it, in that I know I'll look back 6 to 10 years from today, and I'll listen to what I'm about to say, and I'll say, that guy doesn't know much. And this is the truth every time, right? So we have to be aware of this, in that my concept continues to change as I continue to live. So as of right now, magic to me in the moment is not something that we must necessarily do, but we must now recognize that we are doing things already that are preventing our magical nature to express itself. And so I think if people could understand that there are so many activities and ideas engaged upon today and pushed on people, and they accept it, and that those beliefs and ideas are actually preventing the true expression of their own magic, then they would understand where I'm at with magic in my current juncture in life. And, if you had spoken to me 3 years ago, I would have said something different. But this is where it's at right now. And for sure, where it's at right now is better than where it's ever been for me. And so I'm in the process right now of daily evaporating ideas and things around me that prevent my natural expression, which seems to be a natural magic, you could say. Let's define that as creating effects in the physical universe based on ideas, rituals, movements, speech, postures, symbols, to create that effect. So it seems like we all can do it and are natural in it, but we prevent ourselves by acquiring more and more shifts on our mental and emotional states. And that's my introduction to magic.
Love it. On my side, I think I'll pitch in, and then guys, get your questions ready. And your questions can be of any nature. We're not limited to. We're going to incorporate what we're talking about within the answers to your question. And on my side, it's about points in time. The average mindset is always trying to avoid moments of chaos and to keep things, and I got this stated more properly and better than ever from Arash. There's kind of an addiction to control and things being in order. And I think that most people, understandably so, we all grew up that way, we tend to follow our moods and our behavior and actions tend to follow the flow of things. So if, let's say, a guy has a breakup, maybe he's going to be a little sad because that's the thing to do. Or if a guy hasn't had something for a long time, he's going to assume that he cannot have it. But to identify two priceless, most magical moments in time, one of them is when you would have every reason to complain and feel sorry for yourself. When everybody pretty much would just agree with you that, oh, it's too bad. If in those are priceless moments for growth, if you reverse and in those moments you take massive action, that becomes extremely magical. And then the second one is once things start to come in order, everybody's been conditioned to kind of let it go. That's why most people, they start to do a little bit better, and then they go back to worse, and then better, and there's that up and down. But the second point of magic, in my own opinion, that I love to work with is when you're doing really well. So the two key points are when everybody would agree that it's a mess and when everybody would agree that you've been doing well. Those are 2 points in time where you can really produce magic. So thanks, Arash. Thank you, James. Guys, why don't we take questions, and you tell us more are going to join us. You tell us your name, where you're calling from, and what your question is.
57.
57, yes. So, gentlemen, on the line, any questions related with your inner game, your dealings with women, life?
Hey, this is Paul from San Francisco. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. For situations where you kind of just casually see the girl at like a certain activity you do every week, and you just get like maybe 10 to 15 seconds to talk, and you're able to get her to start remembering you and so on. Like, what's a good way of transitioning that, given like what you have available to you, your window of opportunity, to be able to get into a spiel where you can eventually get the number? I guess is the best way to ask. Like if we could get some structure there or something to follow, like a guide.
Okay. James?
Well, I was just thinking, interesting in the, but because we're talking here in terms of magic and wizardry, because I can only address a question like this. It's, I don't really approach it as an external technology, but more of an internal technology. So to answer that question, it's more like paying attention to how you feel, when you're talking to her. Where is the tightness in your body? How do you, are you comfortable? Are you self-aware, or are you tuned into her energy? My sense is, and it's, this is not necessarily how men operate. We weren't trained to like tune into how we feel, and so in a way, it's more how the feminine operates. So my sense is that the more you can operate from the feminine polarity, not be effeminate, but the more you can cultivate the inner awareness, your intuition, your sense of her, how she feels. But you have to get out of yourself in order to do that. So if you're in your mind and you're strategizing, well, what's the right time, and so on and so forth, you're not in a feeling polarity. You're in a mental polarity. And it doesn't have a lot of sex appeal, meaning women are responding more to how they feel about you. And they're not thinking about it. You're thinking about it. So again, it's like, let's say you're talking to her, be present with her. How do you feel about her? Are you excited about her? Do you like her? Do you have good feelings about her? Does she turn you on? You want to exude those feelings and feed them back to her. That's my sense of it.
Perfect. Arash, what's your take on that?
Well, if you could please restate the question shorter for me, Vince. At some point in there, it got cut out, and I tried to recover, and I was not able to. Can you state the question for me again?
Yeah, Paul, the question was a bit vague. Genuinely, precision is power, so sometimes it's hard to change something until you're a bit more clear. But Paul, would you, in one sentence, restate your question?
Sure. You basically see the same girl over and over again, but you just have like a very short time to talk, and you're able to get the interaction so that you keep remembering each other. Just basically how to take it further, I guess, to get the number or get a date, so on.
Well, you're asking a question that is very what do you say? It's clear to me how to do this, because this is what I do all day. And the thing you have to understand when it comes to getting women is one simple principle. She, in her mind, has to think, why is it that giving her time to you and her vagina to you ultimately is going to better her reputation, her future, her survival, her money, and basically she just becomes a way better fucking person, and people clap for her when she's with you. If you could do that, you get her. That's why rock stars can get them. That's why celebrities can get them. If you don't do that, you could do anything else. You could connect 1,000 different ways to a woman. She'll still pet you on the shoulder and be like, wow, I really like you, kiss you on the cheek, and then not give you the vagina, or fuck you once and leave. For the woman, it's very clear. It's very clear. You have to find out. It's like, this is the basic responsibility of any man that approaches a woman. Before you do, you have to be 100% clear, 100% clear why she, by spreading her legs for you continuously and complying to your demands in life, why her life will never be the same, and it'll be 1,000 times better. Now, I'm telling you, if you can't do that, you still will get lucky here and there, just as if you walk down the mall and there's a bunch of ugly people that have made it with each other and have had kids. They don't even know how the fuck they did it. But that is not but if you can understand what I'm saying, then you acquire the skill to be able to go and pick out women and be able to seduce them. You have to, it's your responsibility as a salesperson, for example, to fully understand why the client giving you their money and time is going to better their life. This is something men got to get, and businesses have to get. It's always the value base for them. What is it? Why should she fuck you besides your dick? Why should she give you her time besides the fact that you want to and you're nice? And it's very, very superficial when you get down to the bottom of it. And if people don't want to believe that, that's okay. They don't have to. They just have to look at my life and my results. See, success is going to be your proof. And it's very superficial. Just like for a man, it sounds very just basic, which is like, for me, how hot is she? Is she super gorgeous? Is she so fucking beautiful that you and I would stop talking when she walked by and just have to look at her? If she's that hot, you and I would take the time to get to know her. We'll buy her a drink. Hey, I have time tonight. What are you doing, baby? Right? But if she's not, I don't care how good she can conversate. If she's ugly, if she's an ugly woman, one that I would never, ever stick my dick in, it makes no difference how emotionally adept she is or how good she can talk. That is way later. First, she needs to be fine as hell. And for a woman, it's the same thing. First, you are a resource. You are a source of value to her. After that, everything matters. How kind you are, how well you listen, all that other shit, how funny you are. But if you're not those things, there are many funny men walking around with no girls. There are many good-looking men with no girls. There are many guys that are intelligent with no girls. Why? Because you got to face the fact. She's looking for a certain value, and it's not even her fault. It's just Mother Nature, or God, or Buddha, or Allah, or Jesus, whoever fucking hated her. But that's what it is.
Wow. I can hear
great.
James.
that was fucking great. Thank you. Wow.
A quick announcement, guys.
Can I say one thing? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead. I just want
to
say,
pressing
to mute.
I just want to say real quick, I don't really think it's superficial. I think it appears superficial to the ego, but I think it's actually fundamental of our deepest primordial survival instinct that really drives everything. You know,
Correct.
instinct.
I agree with
Okay. So yeah, I think it's powerful. Thank you.
100% what you said is correct.
Now, what I learned from James initially, I came to him with a shitload of questions, and I was well organized at the time, so I even had a little journal and all those questions written down. Okay, and I've said that you probably have seen clips of James and myself where I mentioned that, but he taught me the secret mantra. And at first, it really pissed me off, but it was the most helpful thing ever. I'll share that in a moment, and then we'll talk more about it probably. But for now, we're talking about being a wizard. And one thing that I've learned from James is the true wizard is unbound. So, Paul, you were asking the question, and I want you to notice how dependent your perspective, and it's your perspective, it's not you. Your perspective forces you to be in that situation, okay? Because you first are putting yourself dependent on time. Or if I just have a little time, perfect, okay? That's not a problem, and you're not dependent on that time. And then also, we hear words like get her and so on. So basically, you're robbing yourself of your own true power. So you got to know that it's primarily, first and foremost, about using what's there. And if you don't have much time, first, you don't have to get her to experience anything. You're really initially there to find out if it's somebody with whom you would enjoy spending more time, okay? To me, initially, you're not trying to prove yourself, but you're testing. And then the time factor, you could easily use it to your own advantage. Here's the linguistic. We keep on seeing each other, and each time we don't have much time. By now, we owe it to each other to spend a little more time together. And then, because oftentimes they may want to back out of this, add, unless we save it for our 90th birthday, and we'll celebrate our 90th birthday together, okay? But you come at it in a way where it's too dependent, and one thing that I've learned from James, I would bring up all my questions, yeah, but what about this, what about that? And he would repeat 3 words, let it go. And at first, and maybe it happens to you sometimes, you're asking questions and you hear answers from us and you go like, yeah, but he's not understanding my question. I went through that. And then I realized, wait a minute, he's completely right. I'm bound with so many presuppositions that the best thing to do is let it go. And this will bring you the presence that James is talking about. And it will automatically increase your value because whomever is dependent on the situation and the other person has very little value in the situation. So, wow, this is exciting. We're barely warming up, gentlemen. And if you are calling from a place where there's sounds in the background, we appreciate it. If you can simply press *6 to mute your line, and then when you want to ask a question, you press *6 once again. Meanwhile, ready for the next question.
Hey, this is Matt from Matt from North Carolina. What's let's say, what is your inner game when you're out with a girl out at like a bar or a nightclub, and how would you use some wizardry? How do you say that word? Wizardry when you're out with a girl to seduce her.
All right, James.
Well, let's see here. If I'm with her, and in terms of the inner game, the first thing that I watch how much I'm in my mind projecting. Like, I want this. What should I do? Am I making? You know what I'm saying? I'm in myself, and so as soon as I become aware of that, there's like an interface. It's in my consciousness and awareness. I get out of that. And I come back into my body, and I begin to feel her energy, because that's going to be a turn on. That's at least going to allow me to feel, sort of like a stronger attraction, or I'm not in my head about my attraction. I'm now in my, my pelvis, my body about it. Okay? And then I remember that, it's like for me, the inner game, the ultimate inner game is, and it's very tricky because it's very difficult for, people to understand that this is even possible, or why would anybody want to do this? But the ultimate inner game is to let go of everything. You have no agenda, no strategies, no plans, no tricks, no subterfuge. And, so my curiosity is, what would be the ultimate inner game is to, and my belief is, again, to shift the polarity. Like Vince was saying, there's this place where, you work on yourself because it's heavy. It's when you come to wizardry because you're heavy and you've got to resolve these issues. And then the other one is when you're really feeling good. Then you can amplify the magic that you're doing. You can amplify it. And so, but remember, when you start this approach with women, or you're with women, and it's somebody that you want, you like them, you want them. Okay, you've got both polarities going on at the same time. So you need to use what in magic is called a dipole. Okay, so you don't spin yourself out, but you use the energy of the polarity to propel yourself forward. But ultimately, remember, being with a woman, whether you're having conversation with her, you're having a drink with her, or you're making love with her, okay, the more present you can be with the magic that is, that you've actually, you go through all this work to learn how to be with women, now you're with one. Really get like, wow, I'm a manifester. I'm manifesting this right here, right now. How can I be even more connected, more present? So to me, that's the inner game, because you may score, you may not, but you want to have a powerful, great experience because this is what you're living for, is to be around the feminine and their energy and their Shakti and their, ultimately you want them to gift that to you. But, that's the magic. That's the great mystery. All right. Thank you.
Loving it. Thank you, James. And Arash, what's your take on that?
When I'm with a woman, I'm paying attention to a few things. Not because it's not like a strategy, just so you know. It's more like that's what's happening, and I'm now describing to you as I look on it. But the first thing I look at is I make sure that she's comfortable. That's very important to me, because if she's uncomfortable, it gets uncomfortable. So if it's, a brand new woman that we're hanging out for the first time or whatever, I'm very aware of the comfort level. Like, she needs to be comfortable. And so I'm always very comfortable wherever I'm at, but I'm checking her comfort level. That's got to be there. And then I just have a good time, because if the interaction ends up being not a good time, if my emotional state, let's say, starts to drop in a way where I'm just not really having a good time anymore, it affects the interaction 100%. And, there are different levels of magic, and there are different types of magic. And one of them that you should understand is the magic of wavelength and mind to mind and emotion to emotion. And so if you yourself are uncomfortable and not having a good time, and you have this agenda that I will only have a good time if, or blah, 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 then, of course, that's going to transfer to her, right? So I have two things right away, which is I make sure she's comfortable and I'm having a good time. And we just go. We just interact at that moment. There's not like anything spectacular happening. I must like her if I'm hanging out with her. So, I was with somebody earlier today, and she's so beautiful. You know what I mean? But we're at that level so that I can just look at her and just be like, God, you are like a perfect looking creature. Like, fuck, man. What are you? Like, how? I even say to them sometimes, I'm like, you really make life worth it to me. Because of all the shit that I see and the stuff that I fucking deal with, being around a woman that is kind or actually acting kind in that moment and soft balances me out really nicely, right? But I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think that, you guys are coming to the Global SLR Convention. There's going to be a section of my talk that I'm really going to fucking nuke a part of your brain out of your head, because you're dealing with some shit that you don't need to deal with. You don't need to deal with what should you be thinking and feeling when you're hanging out with her, because it's not about you when you're hanging out with her, right? You're hanging out with her. So you want to find out what the fuck's going on with her. She should be thinking about what's going on with you. Now, she's not going to, right? You have to be stronger. So you stand firm in your position, which is like, hey, I'm fine no matter what the fuck happens, right? I just hung out with a girl. I talked to Vince the other day right after I hung out with this bitch, and I call her a bitch because she was a fucking bitch. I hung out with this dumb bitch, and we hung out, and after like 2 hours, I'm drained of my energy, and there's really not enough exchange for me to want to ever see her again. And so when I'm driving home, I was talking to Vince, I was like, bro, I am fucking just worn the fuck out now. 2 hours of just putting my energy out like this, and I'm not going to talk to her anymore. And it's not like I couldn't have kept going, and the next day I could have seduced her again, but no fucking time for that because it's my life, and you know, I hung out with her, I gave her my attention, I did what I always do, and whatever fuck her problem was, all I know is that we didn't vibe. And then she asked me, the next day she texted me trying to get back into my life. I think she could tell I was done. And then she said, I thought you were feeling me, and I thought you said that I had something special or some whatever. I said, you did. You totally did. I go, and I was feeling you. But it's like electricity. It takes a positive and a negative pole. It takes a male and a female. I said, I was totally feeling you, and I was under the impression that you were totally feeling me because you were here hanging out with me, having drinks, lights are off. Like, come on now. I said, but at some point, I got the impression that you no longer were feeling me. I said, now that's something interesting because when that happens, the energy between us fizzled away, and it's not there anymore. And that's the fact. I don't have a problem saying, hey, I thought you were really hot, and I wanted to get with you, but you seem to think that I wasn't. And that's okay. So now there's no electricity any longer. And she came back, and she was like, no, it's electric between us and blah, 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 whatever, right? The point that I'm making is you may be making a bigger deal out of it if you're sitting there thinking, how should I be when I'm with her? You should be genuine. You should be true. You should look at her, and you should have a good time, and most of all, be comfortable, if anything. But that's not something that you do. That's something that you are. You just are comfortable. And you go, well, I'm not comfortable yet. Great. Ask yourself how many interactions you've had with beautiful women in the last 48 hours, and that'll tell you why you're not comfortable with women yet. It's not something you can just skip 5 steps and get into. It's like you can't go from white belt to black belt in martial arts by skipping 4 belts. You can't do that. And if you want to get comfortable around women, you're going to have to be around women. That's it. Like, no matter what, you got to figure that out. Somehow, some way, get around them. And this is why I recommend strip clubs to guys, because girls will come in their underwear and bra and sit around you and talk to you and flirt with you. And, yeah, they want your money, but what woman doesn't want your money, right? At least those ones are in their underwear and bra, and you're getting an interaction with them that gets you more comfortable around the female. You don't want to freak out the first time a pretty girl comes around and starts to take off her pants. You're like, oh, my fucking God, what do I do now? What do I think? What's my inner game? What should I be doing? Should I cast a spell on her vagina? No, you need to just relax at that point. So that's where it's at.
Wow, I just want to outline brilliant, Rash, what you just said, everything. And especially what resonated is the taking them to a strip club. I experimented throughout the years taking guys to a mall or taking guys to a nightclub just as one step, and sometimes taking guys to a strip club and then taking them to a mall. And because they had been in the proximity of women and the scent and all of that, they would do much better. For me, to answer your question, I believe your name was Matt, correct? Did I get that right?
Yes, thank you. Good answers, guys,
okay.
So far. Thank you.
Okay, Matt, I like to go to the source. If you play by the rules of the world, unless you are the one setting those rules, you will always struggle. So one thing that's happened throughout the years, I realized that there's a spiritual element to everything, and that includes seduction. And in the end, it's the bigger element, but we got to be present in the world as well. So the greatest demonstration of magic is in nature. A fucking seed, a tiny little seed, becomes a flower or a tree. A tiny little seed becomes a baby. Now, if you observe those two processes, they are very non-linear. They're completely different than the processes we tend to follow in the world. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Meaning, also, they are free from good or bad. They're just result-oriented, because no one would pull a root and give it to somebody else and say, here, I brought you a root, and people wouldn't smell it. Twisted root with worms is not appealing. So the beginning of something that later on smells as good, so good as a rose or any flower, is a twisted root, worms. What do you do usually? What do we do to speed up the growth? We put fertilizer. Another word for fertilizer is crap. But the result, or a woman giving birth, is a very painful, bloody process, or even an animal giving birth. I remember my sister was into animals. First time I saw a horse giving birth to a horse, I was like, oh my God, I nearly puked. Okay? But at the same time, the miracle happened. So based on that, it took a lot of work throughout the years. But I don't assume that anything is good or bad within me or in the environment or with the woman. Okay? I utilize everything, which is what happens in nature. Nature doesn't go, oh no, there's a rock in front of me, damn it, I was doing so well. Water doesn't go, oh, there's a rock in front of me, I was doing so well. It goes around it. It finds a way. It will make a way. So I like to make no apology for wherever I'm feeling, whatever's happening around, and what's happening with her, and not assume that it's bad, but simply from that place, utilize. So if I'm dead tired, all my openers are going to consist of me talking about that, okay? And I'm going to say, like, I'm so tired. If we're going to have a conversation, you're going to have to start it because that's the best I can do right now. Or if something displeases me, yesterday I was running to the store, and at the street corner, two girls just cut the corner a little too strong, and the proper thing would have been on both sides to go, oh, I'm sorry, and oh, I'm sorry too, everything's okay. But no, they made it seem that it was my mistake. And they go, whoa, you shouldn't do that. That scares people. And I say, yeah, that's what I do. I go around all day to fucking scare people. Okay? So if I am wrong, later on, I'm fast, or I do my best to be fast to apologize. Okay? So this way you are free. And you're sitting with her. And even if you're not so comfortable, because I know we're sharing principles with you guys that are pretty advanced. They're great to give you a sense of direction, but they might be a little intimidating at first. So whatever you're feeling, there's nothing wrong with it. Use it. Be present with it. And don't think that it's wrong. Guys, we can hear you chat on the line. Sorry, we can hear a lot of chatting on the line. Simply press *6. Meanwhile, I'm going to mute that for a second. All right. Arash, James, you can still hear me? Well, I guess I muted everybody.
No, I had to unmute myself here.
Oh, okay. And Arash, can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right.
Hello? Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So, in just a moment, guys, I'm looking at the time, but we want to experiment and do a little bit of a breath work process. James would tell you just a little bit more about it. It's something that we will do live at the Global SLR, Seduction, Lifestyle, and Relationship event. James is coming, and we have the benefit of loudspeakers and the stage and the nightclub to do it. First time we did it at that level was in 2010, and the results were phenomenal. Do you remember, James, in 2010, we were doing a big event, and we did one of those processes nightclub. Guys were running out to approach women afterwards. They were charging. I've never witnessed that much group power. We were in a mall, and they were charging. So we'll do that in a moment. Stay tuned. And meanwhile, I would like to ask both Arash and James a question about women, your take on women and their impact. And I know that some of your views are very unique and very helpful. So the feminine will. What's your take on the feminine and women, James?
Well, I'm going to go second. Let me go after Karash, if that's okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Is that good? Good. Thank you.
My view of the feminine energy is very clear. It is the most destructive energy on planet Earth, and maybe the cosmos. Now, I know that's a little shocking to hear, maybe, because maybe people thought it was nurturing and kind and soft. No, that's the woman telling you that that's what it is. That's not nature telling you that's what it is. You have the yin and the yang. The yang is male energy. It's a white fish-looking thing in Chinese. And yin is the dark one. You have plus and minus poles. Plus would be the positive. Minus would be the negative. These are balances of nature. One is creation. One is destruction. They have to balance each other out. Life and death is a cycle. One of the poles, everything in nature is gender-based. Everything. This is one of the 7 laws of alchemy. If everything in nature is based on gender, and you don't have to believe me, but I'm an alchemist more than anything else, and so those 7 laws are the laws that I work with. So we're just going to pretend that's true for a minute because I'm the one talking at the moment. Then if everything in nature is based on gender, then we would have to go also, that would be true for Homo sapiens, we have male and female. And if the male energy is the yang energy, the forward thrust, the way your penis goes out, the way you send billions and billions of sperm, you could do it 5, 6, 10 times a day maybe. That's life. Life-giving energy. Male creative energy. The female is the destructive energy, the yin. It's the receptive. When you have sex, afterwards you physically become drained and you need to recover. The female becomes energized. She's absorbed the energy. Females, if you let them be by themselves for 2 days and you come back, they have destroyed themselves somehow with some drama. If you're in a relationship right now, I guarantee you 1 week doesn't go by without you having to solve some dramatic problem that your woman has created in 1 week. Without a doubt. It's impossible for them not to destroy what they touch. If you're a business owner, and I'm a multiple business owner, the last major problem your business has had is because of a woman, not because of a man. If you're a man and you've had a fight with another man, a best friend, there's a woman at the end of that. If you're a man and you're not talking to your mother right now, there's a female at the end of that in your relationship. Now, I'm giving these general statements, but I'm almost like a mind reader when it comes to this because this is nature. The one that is the most destructive force, female energy, it is not creative energy. It's not at all. It's destructive energy. The male energy is creative energy. Thus, you have the obelisk in Egypt. The sign of the penis, basically, is a sign of creation. And the female womb is actually not the sign of creation. It's a sign of destruction because you have a plus and minus pole. Yin, the moon, receives the sunlight from the sun. Using that light, shines. But the moon by itself has no light. That's nighttime. Daytime is the sun. The male energy has always been the sun, the lion, the sun, things like that. And the female has always been the moon goddess. That's who she is. So, having said all that, and myself having a very low opinion of women, I go out of my way to tell the world this, that I have an extremely low opinion of women, and I think many other pickup artists, gurus, and seduction would be like, oh, he's an asshole. I'm not an asshole at all. The reason why I can fix women, and you see the women around me shine with such powerful energy, is because I recognize that they are broken, weak, insecure, can't handle it, destructive. And so I guide them. And because I see that, I can't put them on a pedestal. They start in the sewer with me. They're not even on regular ground. I have to pick them up, clean them off with all the shit they've accumulated over their fucking life, let them know, look, I see how destructive you are. I see your emotions out of whack. I see you can't plan from A to B. You can't see the cause and effect ratio in life. Women can't see that, by the way. If you think they can, you haven't been around women. You know, they can't see what the fuck can happen 6 months from now if they make a decision today. And loyalty is not for the woman. Thus, the army, monks, samurais, anywhere you look where it was required that men give their lives and loyalty to another man, you couldn't find women. Now they want equal rights, but they're also taking a shit in everything they're doing. So having such a low opinion of women, you would wonder how the fuck I can have so many women around me. Because having said all of that, I am male in this life for sure. Here I am. And what balances me out is that bitch. And so I love her for that shit, and that's the way it is. I can't help the fact that I am attracted to her like two fucking magnets are. The more she's female, the more I'm male, and we just connect with each other perfectly. But the female energy, to me, we're talking about energy and the other side of looking at seduction, is absolutely destructive. And I just told my guys on my lecture Sunday, I said, the moment you get with a woman, you are now cutting your own throat and throwing your life away. You need to be aware of that. But if you're playing with snakes, and they bite you, you can't cry later. You need to take the precautions. You have to have anti-venom, and you got to know how to handle them. But a snake will bite you. And a woman will destroy your life unless you guide her properly and channel her instinctive yin energy in a way that does what? Incubates, get this, incubates and takes your life energy, your forward thrust in life, and she protects it from outside. How can she protect it? She's destructive. Like in nature, the female lions, they're the ones fucking shut up all the time. Trust me, they're the ones running everything. Hyenas, same shit. Everywhere you go. They got the male alpha sitting there, but the females are protecting and running everything. The male steps in only if another powerful male walks in sometimes, right? But they're doing the hunting and all that. So if you understand the energy of it, you will continue to create life. As I'm doing right now in this lecture or podcast, every day I'm doing 2-3 interviews right now, besides whatever the fuck else I do here. And that's life. We have to keep creating. Male energy, create, yes. But I'm surrounded by women. But I guide them to incubate my creations so my creations become more and more powerful. Boom, and then you see them shine, and that's what you see on my Facebook. So the female energy, to wrap it up, is the yin energy. Arash Divazar didn't say that shit. They said that shit way back 2,000 fucking years ago and before in China and in India. And the male energy is the yang, which is the life-giving energy, sun energy. They have each other because they're two poles of the same whole, right? And so they have to relate to each other as such. But you make a mistake of thinking that females are kind, caring, mother, blah, blah. Even Mother Nature is one of the biggest bitches you've ever seen because Mother Nature will kill anything that's weak, and that is female. And that's why it's Mother Nature. That's it.
I knew someone would appreciate that. It would be you. and you know what? I mean, I'm loving it, and I'm actually going through this right now myself. But I also want to, we're talking being a wizard. Part of being the wizard is being authentic. One thing that you guys will appreciate, both of you, James and Arash, is at first when hearing those principles, and I know both of you like kind of share those principles. I have guys sometimes that come and report to me and say, well, you know what, they were saying this and that, and it cracks me up. But wow, bingo, we couldn't be more right on the spot. I fucking love it, and I'm eager to hear more. And I know that Arash, you'll do also some exclusive presentation at the Global SLR on topics you have never shared before and so on. James, what's your take on that question?
That was great, man. I really love it. Plus, I'm glad that you went first because that was really powerful. And I don't know if I don't want to say I agree with any of it or all of it, or it's just it's a view of the mystery. Meaning, I usually look at it like, meaning there's something that I'm very interested that I want from them that I can't have. Okay. And so in the experience of using in the Tantra, in terms of waking up, radical awakening through Tantra, that energy is needed. Okay. I mean, so then it brings into, there's the polarity, but then what happens when there's absolute peace and harmony between the polarities? If it was static, it would just be nothing. But when it's perfect harmony, at least a resonant harmony, so the polarity may be going back and forth very quickly, okay? But in that state of harmony, under heightened sexual experience, is some kind of divine potential that we're not awakened to yet because we're too fucked up sexually, male and female. And the planet's too fucked up. And that's the shit that we're working through. Okay? And I think that what you're saying when you're talking about women being that kind of energy, it's like I see it. I don't really don't claim it to be that way, but what I say is definitely a concerted attack on male culture. And that for me, it's like, it's not even worth the time. It's not even worth the time. I'm not actually realizing, listening to you speak, it's like I have great female friends. I have wonderful women around me. I have a beautiful 15-year-old daughter. I have a great relationship with my ex-wife. In my practice, I have generally worked with a lot of women and have supported their opening and coming into their power. So for me, it's not about women. It's about finding what I think it is that I'm missing, that I need to crave them, or that I need to desire them. I need to run after them. I need to chase them. I have to do all these things to fascinate them, get their attention, seduce them. And I go, whoa, it's like I did that for 40 years. And at this point, it's like I think there's just a deeper mystery. So I really honor, the male effort into understanding what all this means, because it's shifting. We're living in a very shifting time, where women are accruing a great deal of power. The meme is changing. Even the whole thing, I think I said it the last time I was with the group here in Los Angeles, to me that to see this Caitlyn Jenner, whatever it is, on the cover of Vanity Fair, one of the world's most highly recognized fashion magazines, that and Vogue. Okay? And it's like, what's the message here? What is this? They're changing the meme on us. And I'm thinking, wow, somebody told me that the state of California on the college, when you fill out the college applications or entrance, whatever it is, it says 6 boxes for gender. Give me a fucking break, man. Okay? So for me, let me go back to one thing. So here's what I understand, because I'm a 68-year-old man. And I've done a lot of yoga. My Kundalini is wide open. But I'm very grateful, and it happened, and I think it's part of a biological evolution of our physical form, especially when a man is on a spiritual path. That in the 60s, the energy cools down a little bit. You have to keep nurturing it. You always have to keep nurturing your chi, your shakti, especially if you want to live in longevity. This is where the value of women comes in their sexuality. But if you're really open, you can just be around them. I'm going to tell an interesting story, guys. I want to express this. Very interesting. I'm going to make it very quick. Today I was traveling from San Francisco. I was traveling by air, and I was in San Francisco airport. And at one point, I was just standing next to these 2 really nice women, tall, just nice, juicy women. And we started talking for a little bit. And I didn't have any design on anything other than just, wow, this is nice and fun. And I kept feeling their energy. And the whole energy field just vibrated. And then I went from there, and I also was doing a lot of Qigong this morning, a lot of work in my energy field before I left because I had some time. And then I got to where the security was, going through security. And they had to pat me down, and this man pat me down. And when I felt his energy in my field, you want to talk about wizardry and magic? Oh, hell fucking broke loose on an energetic level. And I looked at all of those people as nothing but garbage. They're these fat, morphogenic human beings, and they sit there and they're laughing and they're talking and they're waiting for people to come and touch. I'm going, what the fuck is going on here? Because I felt their energy. I don't know what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is the gift of women is because we exist here because of the feminine. We came into this life because of the feminine. Our body exists because of the feminine. And to understand the mystery of that when you're actually vibrating next to them and they're opening their energy up for you, or you're actually, when you say seduction, what you're really trying to get them to do is to relax and open up that nectar, that juice. And they're just free. And then you want to bathe in it. Because that way you can have it wherever you are. And you're seducing the energy field. You're seducing the quantum. So I don't know, you can't feel, you can jerk off all you want, but you can't feel the vibration that you feel when you're in the embrace of a woman. And I realized something in the last several years as I keep working with this energy, this alchemy, you know, as it moves through time, is that, I don't want to lose this, is that the vibration of my body at this stage of the game, that's what I'm looking for, is the frequency vibration. The gift that when they open up and I can feel that, I can't get that any other way. I mean, I used to do drugs. I used to do sex and drugs. That was the best. I don't care what anybody says, you know, if you could master that. But, you know, this is like kind of growing into the feminine energy is everything. And what we all really want in this game of seduction is we all want to be the Don Juan. And I honestly believe it's as much of just pure energy. It's just pure like surrendering to the fact that the field that we live in is feminine. Because it's constantly giving birth to new form. And when we talk about magic and wizardry, when we really want to study how does the physical world manifest? Because if we all could manifest our dreams, we all manifest a harem, a fortune, and a hell of a lot of fun. Okay, because that would be the manifestation. And somehow, you know, it happens as it happens. But the gift is the feminine because they're the ones giving it to us. And when they give you that juice, they give you that Shakti, that love, they touch you. Just when they just touch you and you're open to the touch, you feel the touch, the frequency of it. Man, it's life. It is life. That's all I'm going to say.
Cool.
Awesome. We'll I'm looking at the time, and we have promised you a little trance. So I'll simply answer that one. For me, 20 years, 5 marriages down the road, and so on, I realized that the best thing is what I said before, is to just utilize it. You know, it's survival of the strongest. So when they bring that chaos around, and I love what Arash is saying, then it's all about are you going to be the victor of it or the victim of it. So we're opening a lot of doors, and gentlemen, we are with you all the way. If you allow me a quick announcement at this point, maybe Arash can give you the details, but we have another really epic moment tomorrow night where Arash will be live video conferencing with Hypnotica. So Arash, what steps do they need to take to be on that conference tomorrow night?
You guys need to go to globalslr.com, Global Seduction, Lifestyle, and Relationship. That's the event that Vince and I are doing. And it should be up. The link should be up right now. And if it's not, please send me a message. Sometimes shit happens like that.
What is it again?
It's a Global, S as in Sam, L as in love, R as in Relish. globalslr.com. And it's a free lecture tomorrow. The link is there. We're going to start at 8 p.m., and it'll be Hypnotica and I will be live on camera. You can be able to see us. And the format is you type a question, and we'll answer it. And the last time that Hypnotica did this was never. So it would be nice to see that. She's also going to be one of the speakers at the Global SLR. Himself, myself, James, Vince. You have 4 people that have dedicated their entire lives understanding and continuing to explore. I don't know if I can claim understanding really any more than any other man, but definitely exploring these fields that are just so essential to having a experience of living that makes it worthwhile here. So, you know, I'm very excited to do my piece, and I'm excited to hear the other speakers. So, anyways, tomorrow at 8 p.m. California time, go to globalslr.com. Don't go there at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Go there tonight or tomorrow before 8 p.m. because at 8 p.m. I'm going to start. And we'll go for about an hour, hour and a half, and we're going to rock this shit tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's free, the video conference with Hypnotica.
Absolutely.
That's going to be an epic moment. I'm so looking forward to it. I really look up to the work of Hypnotica, you know, Eric Von Sydow and that is really exciting. So we're going to do that little trance, we're probably going to give it 10, 15 minutes. Before that, if you allow me also, gentlemen, the process of preparing for the Global SLR is having us provide you with all that knowledge and those conference calls and so on. And I know many of you guys on the line listening tonight are coming. I think the two that ask questions are already coming. So heads up, the tickets are going up tomorrow night. We're using a sliding scale. Now, if somebody is listening later on or podcast and so on, and you have no clue what we're talking about, I'll briefly tell you what is happening. We wanted to create the most ideal environment to facilitate maximum growth. And one of the challenges with a lot of events, is that it's kind of unidimensional. So what we're providing the community with, and by the way, it's the largest ever so far in history, we're making history and we want you to be part of history, is a multimedia experience of an entire weekend. Meaning we have access to a nightclub. We have the greatest lineup of speakers ever. We're demanding from the speaker that they all stretch, and the theme is the missing link for students to experience progress faster than ever. And we're going to use different formats, from lecture to workshop to infield to partying as well. There's a pink carpet event. We're bringing talent and so on. So it's the place to be at. And there's no way to really describe it until you are there to experience it. But we're going all the way, and we're with you all the way until the event. We have this call every Monday. There will be more video conferencing also on Rush side every Tuesday. And for now, we're going to do something special before we do the trance, and I'll restate it just once after that, because the event speaks for itself. Pretty much everybody who's in the community involved at any level, from newbies to the legends like Hypnotica, are going to be there. There's people coming from the UK, from Israel, from Denmark, Scandinavian country, from France, from South America. So you want to be there, and we're going to make it as easy as possible. It's about to go up, but currently you can grab general admission, which includes access to the pink carpet party and the nightclub as well. You can come for $149, but tomorrow night, midnight, the price will go up. Now, for anyone who doesn't have a ticket and wants to come to that event October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and maybe while you're on the call, you can quickly look at the site, globalslr.com. We're going to do something special. We're going to do a trance in a moment, and I'm going to forward you, anybody who registers tonight, regular admission, will receive as a little gift the chakra clearing system, Invincible Inner Game, which consists of meditation to be more present and all sorts of wizardry and so on. So you register tonight, you go to the site, and then you send me a quick email. Hey, I was on the call, or I heard the podcast. Can I get that download? Normally it's $75, but we'll give it to you for free. Okay? So meanwhile, we're going to start our process. James, let's be mindful of the time. Maybe we'll give it 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, now I'm trying. Yeah, what I'm trying to do is figure out how we can get some music to come over. Hold on a sec, because let me see here. Let me see. I'm going to put some music on. Let me see if this is coming through here. Hold on.
Okay, while you work on that, on my side, I just wanted to give you a heads up that if you're driving right now, it's best not to proactively participate in the process that follows. It's just a glimpse. I'm going to put a video tomorrow in the group Beyond the Game, and also on my wall of the full process that we did, a demonstration of it with James, that we will do at the Global SLR to make sure your vibe and energy and charisma is really up to the plate. But the process is really phenomenal. So maybe we can take one more quick question while James.
We're not. I'm not going to be able to do the music thing. So let's just go ahead and do it.
All right. And I just want to check in with Arash also. I don't know if Arash you have a time constraint or if you stick around for that or if you want to pitch in, participate.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna be one of the contestants or whatever. I'll be one of the.
But speaking of magic, I just want to say one last thing. Speaking of magic, the way this whole event is coming together and the all of that is pure magic in itself, really. And everybody, we're just Rush is a force for evolution and so on, leading the pack, and we're joining forces for this event with all those speakers. So it's really we call it the global SLR because it's going to have a global impact on everybody, the community, and every man who aspires to do better with women and everything. So, James, you want to tell them about the breath?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So we're doing this over the phone, so it's a little, it's a process unto itself. But basically what's going to happen, and some of you have probably done this with us, so you know what to do. But you're going to be breathing with your mouth open. But I think, and usually what happens is you're just going to breathe for a few minutes. But I think the way I'll do it tonight is I'm going to have you do some deep breathing with your mouth open. So it'll be like a, okay. And just keep breathing like that for a second. Then you're going to take a deep breath and hold it, just for a few seconds. So take a deep breath and hold it. And you're going to let it out, but let it out very slowly. Very slowly. Either through your nose or through your mouth. Even slower than that. That's good. Okay? And then just take a deep breath, normal breath for a second. And feel your body. Feel the kind of a sense of relaxation that comes in. We're going to kind of amp this up a little bit, the sense of your body and relaxation. Okay? So, again, take some deep breaths. Just relax into it, but keep breathing. Now take a deep breath and hold it. That's good. Through the nose, through the mouth. Hold it. And let go very slowly through the nose. Now, the main thing is to feel the shift in energy, the shift in frequency, the vibration in your body. Then just come back and take a deep breath normally, okay? Actually, take it through your nose and feel how comfortable it feels now to breathe through your nose. Just feel like all this energy in your body. Just let it out with some sound. That's what. Feel the sound. Feel the vibration in your body. All right. Okay. So let's do it again. Here we go. Inhale, exhale. So now take a deep breath on the next inhalation. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Very gently, very slowly let it out. Through your nose if you can. And then let the rest out. And let go. And let the air out. That's it. Let it go. And feel your body. Okay? And let some sound out. So feel the vibration of sound in your body. Use your voice. Feel the power of your voice. Maybe put your star 6 on. But just feel the power of your voice to yourself.
And as you're listening now, imagine that with every breath out, as you do your part, because a simple natural law, in order to get, you must give. And the first person you give to is yourself. And you give yourself the gift of applying yourself, of opening your mind and participating. And a small step, just like when I mentioned the little seed, leads to a bigger step. So if you start to just give a little bit more into this exercise, automatically you'll find yourself
Keep breathing.
giving more into the world. Every breath out, imagine that the breath has an intelligence of its own, and it can go deep within your psyche, your mind, your soul, each and every aspect of you, all the way to the core of your DNA, your own personal history, your family history, and it can identify any blocks, limitations, misconceptions, any residue of anxiety, anger, lower energy, and it releases it with the breath out. Feel that.
That's great.
Sense it.
Feel your
And know
power.
that right now, there is very little you have to do, but you got to do what you can do. And you got to do it with all you got. So continue with the breath. And notice, this exercise will also help you to begin to identify all the ways in which you've been holding back. Because many listening may start to experience a little fear. What is it going to make me
Just
feel?
let it go.
And that's when you remember, let it go.
Let it go.
Maybe some of you may be a little overly analytical, where you're thinking, yeah, but could this really work? And how about the breath? And this? So the answer is within this process, because this process will cause all of that used to hold you back to start to come to the surface. Some overanalyze, some fear, and never really take a step. Others compartmentalize and feel, yeah, maybe this, but not that. But the true wizard is unbound. And I want you to know, in working with James for over 15 years, both collaborating, but also hiring him to do the process, he's working with so many modalities now. Part of his background, he was in the Amazon. He created deep emotional release. So right now, sometimes when I work with James, we don't even do the breath. We remain silent, and it just works the energy. All you need to do is to be receptive. And here's a key word. I know. Who doesn't want more women, more success, more money? It's nothing new. It's nothing original. It's everybody. But how receptive, how open to receive, how willing are you is really the question you must ask yourself. And we continue now. With every breath in, imagine that whatever resources you already have within, all of your strengths are beginning to be magnified. You're starting to remember your own true self. And every breath in is pulling closer to you.
Yes.
This reality in which your true self can thrive freely, where you're unbound, unlimited, unleashed. And again, every breath out.
Show me the way. I am a creator.
Clears, cleanses, purifies in ways that
more.
your conscious mind could not possibly understand
Show me more.
right now. In ways that are available right here and right now. Since tomorrow night, Arash will have Hypnotica on the video call. I will quote Hypnotica. Hypnotica once brilliantly said, it's not really about hypnotizing yourself. It's about de-hypnotizing yourself. Because somewhere, somehow, along
Hallelujah,
the
man.
way, you bought into some bullshit belief that something was missing, that you were not enough. We heard it in some of the questions tonight. What if you don't really have much time with a woman? Well, how is time going to make a difference? you know? All of those are just convenient excuses and deviation and your mind trying to fuck with you. But you are the creator. You are the power. And you breathe into that power now. And as it glows stronger within you, imagine your inner being. We talk a lot about inner game. It's invisible. Imagine a silhouette on the inside and start to fill it with any color of your choice. It could be gold. It could be beautiful, clear blue sky. And imagine that this color and this inner radiance begins to radiate way outside of you and start to send it from the core of you as you continue to clear everywhere into the universe. And wherever it goes, it gets stronger. And then you pull it back in to feel more strength, inner strength. And then you send it back out. And you go in and out and back and forth. And it's as if you're fornicating with the universe. It's as if you're fucking life. You're making love to life. And you are clearing all of the limitations, the misconception. Because the truth is you are free, you are plenty, you're capable, it's possible. You got to be smart. You do need distinctions, education. It's not an either or. But those guys that constantly seek more knowledge without clearing first are missing out. And those who only clear but don't seek the knowledge are missing out. So we continue for a moment. Few more breaths. I pass it back to you, James.
Okay, so let's do another breath lock. Can you take a deep breath? This time hold it.
Hold it.
Let every muscle in your body be relaxed, but hold your breath. Hold it, hold it.
And as you hold it, the breath knows where to go in the past, the present, the future, above, below, forward, backward, sideways, wherever needed. Every molecule,
when you let it
particle, every aspect of your being. And it takes whatever you need to let go of. The things you know of, and even the things you don't know of. And remember that priceless mantra. You know that if you ask me, Vince, how do you really clear your own inner game? I kept on repeating to myself, let it go. But I don't know her. Let it go. But I don't know what to say. Let it go.
Let it go.
Oh,
Be
she
free.
didn't even show up. Let it go.
Be free.
What a bitch. Let it go.
Be free.
I think she's with that guy. You don't know. Let it go. Let
Be
it go.
who you are.
Well, I'm kind of tired today. Let it go.
Be who you are.
And how is that even relevant?
Ooh.
When you realize how free you are currently, this will speed up your progress like never before, because it's not you. It's simply the shit you bought into, the presuppositions. Arash brilliantly shared on a call yesterday that you cannot start a question with a presupposition that something is off and missing. So now in that place of being, and this was just a glimpse, and I want to really thank you, James, just a short glimpse. It's a powerful process. It's like learning to ride a bicycle. Every new time that you do it, you go even deeper. And everything is a reflection of how open-minded you are and how much you apply yourself. But I personally, through just a few minutes, I feel very aligned, and I know exactly what to do next tonight. And I know how to resolve anything in this moment. So you guys at the Global SLR, we're going to do that for over an hour with loud music, with videos playing, and so on. And we had done it once or so, I got to say, I think in 2009, Hypnotica and I had done kind of a beginning version of that without the breath, but a powerful dual induction. So thank you, everyone, for calling. Make sure that you join in again tomorrow, Hypnotica. That's epic. I personally cannot wait, and it's very, very, very rare to be able to have access directly with Hypnotica. And then also I'll pass it to Arash for a word of conclusion. And James, also anybody that seeks your services, where do they go?
Well, the best thing to do would be to call me at 805-302-8448 or go to emotionalrelease.com. Give me a call, 805-302.
Emotionalrelease.com.
Right, 805-302-8448. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
and
we added as much as we could to it.
Yeah. But personally, gentlemen, I continue. You know, it's important to have a team of people around you. Every superstar, businessman, athlete, or musician has a team of people to hold them. So James is part of the team of healers that I consult with and so on. And my newest found inspiration since the beginning of this year or last year has been Arash with his mindset that, and he's living the dream. You know, Arash has all the girl and has the business and so on. So what a blessing. And gentlemen, before I pass it to Arash in conclusion, Arash is still on the line, by the way?
I am here.
Okay, excellent. On my side, you know, a hot chick knows that she's hot, and what we're putting together and the gifts we're bringing to the community with this global seduction lifestyle and relationship event speaks for itself. I urge you to have the presence of mind to join this event because it's also modeled around the most impactful types of weekend that exist in the self-help field. So it's above and beyond anything. If you attended a convention in the past, don't even compare. There's no reference of what those who will come are about to experience. And I mentioned general admission, $149. You're on the call tonight. You want to make it, come to Hollywood October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Find the details about it, globalslr.com. We throw in hours of the process we did on CDs, audio, that is an instant download. And I want to also mention that VIP, we have last ticket at $8.99 VIP. VIP, you also have a private boot camp with me, John Keegan, Bad Boy at night. You have dinner with all the speakers. You have the party bus. You have so many benefits. You get my entire library. You get DVDs of all the speakers. It's just a phenomenal package, but we limited it to a small amount of people. So we're down to the last one at $8.99. After that, it goes to $9.99. 2 more, and after that, we probably will make 1 or 2 more available for somebody who really wants it at probably $1,500. So if you want the VIP treatment, the entire, like, basically round the clock, you show up, and bonus session even on Sunday for the VIPs to take all the material home, 2 extra hours. This is your chance, and I pass it to Arash.
All right. In conclusion, I'll make it very short, brief. If you control perception, okay? If you control perception, then you control reality. You establish what reality is. This is something that marketers know this, nations and governments know this, magicians know this, stage magicians and real magicians. So it all comes down to perception. Once you know who your audience is, right? Once you know what effect you're trying to create, then you set about getting the audience to perceive your desired effect. The act of doing that, the words used, the gestures, the movements, the music, the colors and sounds, anything you can use, that is a ritual to get them to perceive the reality that you've created. Reality is that simple. It's just an agreed upon reality. If a person walked down the street right now and told us there was a green Martian on their shoulder and they were talking to them, we would think they're crazy. We would have no proof there's no green Martian. We can't see it, but the person can see it. They talk to him all the time. But if we ended up at another city or state or country and everybody had a green Martian on their shoulder and they were talking to it and we didn't have one, we couldn't see theirs, but they were all convinced everybody had a green Martian on their shoulder, then we would be crazy. So the fact is that when people agree on something, it becomes real. And this is how they use this to brainwash populations and do all kinds of other stuff. But it's just the facts of reality, is what you perceive to be real becomes real to you. So you, as somebody who is an adept, a student, initiate of magic and wisdom and knowledge of this type, occult knowledge, you must clearly and with fascination, with awe, with adventure, take a look at perception. First yours, because you are living in your own perception right now. That is your reality. Things are happening all around and you're perceiving in a certain way. And then to push outwards, you also will entice others and coax them, or the best word for me is you will seduce them to see the reality that you are creating. And when they see that, then magic has happened. When a hater comes on the scene, the hater tries, using words and gestures or whatever, they try to get the audience to perceive the good person as something bad. And they try and they try and they try. And what they're doing is they're basically trying to control the perception of the audience. The way you handle that is you continuously put out your truth, you continuously put out your creations, and you continuously tell people what they are perceiving, because that's what the hater does. The hater comes in there and says, this is what you're perceiving. So this is the clue for you to go a little deeper into these arts. He who controls perception controls reality, and you all have to be masters of that. You have to be able to manipulate your own perception and the perception of others and the world around you, and everybody's doing it all the time. Some can do it with intent and really create an art form out of it. They become the marketeers, the seducers, the people that are making things happen. They're moving people's minds. So for me, the level of magic that I use is moving men's minds, and I use communication. You've heard this before. Communication and imagination are the keys, okay? So thank you very much, Vince, for again having me be here. And James, thank you very much for being on, and it's a pleasure meeting you. Everybody, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night with Hypnotica at 8 p.m. Go to globalslr.com, okay? Take care. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Arash. Thank you, James. And be on the call, be on the video tomorrow with Hypnotica and Arash. And again, globalslr.com. And we'll be on again next Monday, probably with James Marshall, the natural from Australia, who will be joining the convention as a surprise guest. Thank you, James. And maybe, James, just restate the phone number one more time. Oh, I guess I'm the last one on this call. All right. Good night, everyone.